Hello, welcome back to part 2, how to knit Henley Raglan sweater. In this pattern, in the bottom of the sweater, you will do knit 1, purl 1. It's simple as that. Each stitch will be different. You will knit 1, purl 1, and then in the next row you will just repeat the same thing. When you see the knit stitch, you will knit stitch. When you see the purl stitch, you will add the purl stitch. And let's talk about German short rows. You can skip that part if you are truly beginner and you do not even want to try this, but I would say just test it and try it. So you work all your knit stitches to the point when you need to turn. Once you turn your work, you will slip stitch the last stitch that you just made. You will hold the yarn up and you pull a little bit up to see the last stitch going up, making it looks like double stitch. You will keep your yarn in the back of your work and you just bring the yarn up front and you purl all the way to the next stop where you need to make a short row. So short rows is the technique that you will not complete the rows all the way to the end. So now we have to do the same thing but on the knit side. So your yarn is in the back of your work. You have to bring that yarn up front. Then you slip stitch and you pull that yarn up. So the stitch from the previous row will make us look like double stitch. You will hold that yarn in the back of your work and you just knit the rest as regular knit stitch. Now to pick up those double stitches from the short row, you will just knit all the way to that double stitch and you will recognize that stitch because it will look a little bit different than any other one. That's our first double stitch, and on the knit side you will knit those two stitches together, but you will twist them that way to make this a little bit neater and will look like there is no gap in between the rows. Once we end this row, we will turn and then we will pick up our short row right here as well. So we will purl all the way to the double stitch. And once we get to the double stitch, we just purl that stitch two as one. And that's the one that I made a little bit tighter because I was making short rows on the right side. And that's round number 3 completed, and you can see we have more row in the middle than rows on the side of the sweater. So please try and let me know if that was helpful. And lastly, binding off. In order to bind off, you will knit 1, then you place the same stitch back on your left needle and you knit 2 together. And you just repeat this process, slip back, knit 2, slip back, knit 2 together. Thank you so much for watching and happy knitting!